What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Word of Mouth. I'm back here with another video breaking down the playoffs. And the last video I made was Tuesday, and it seems like the playoffs are the gift that keeps on giving. As well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the draft lottery. But before I get into that, a couple things. Make sure you leave a like on the video. I've been dropping videos like this all playoffs. I'm sure you will enjoy this one as well as I recap some things that's been going on and talk about some series that have ended, some series that are still going, and all of the above. On top of that, after you leave a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You're going to enjoy, if you enjoy this video, you're going to enjoy the rest of my videos. You're going to enjoy the videos I drop over the summer, as they're probably going to be more introspective. But if you subscribe, you can see specifically what I have planned. But now, specifically, the last video I uploaded was on Tuesday, and I kind of previewed the games, but let's just go ahead and talk about them. So, the Pacers did end up beating the Cavaliers, as I thought. I thought Cleveland was going to win. The Pacers ended up winning, closing out the series, and this was surprising. I had Cleveland winning the series in 7. I was a believer in the regular season success. I was a believer in everything that they had done throughout the regular season and in how they dominated the Hawks in the first part of the playoffs in the first round. So I thought coming into this series that they were going to be great. The Pacers were going to push them, but I thought Cleveland was just a better team. Defensive Player of the Year, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, all of these pieces. On top of how great Ty Jerome was playing at the start of the playoffs, I just thought they had it. Then they get injured, hit blitz with the injury bug, and the Pacers gain all the momentum. But you win Game 3 in Indiana. You slow down the pace of momentum a little bit. But Game 4, you let Tyrese Halliburton get his swag back. And then Game 5, going into Cleveland, you're down 3-1. And at this point, it's not even about winning. It's really just about fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because you're down 3-1. You know, Darius Garland and them was talking about, like, it's not the first time this organization has been down 3-1. Well, but this is the first time you've been down 3-1. You know what I'm saying? And you have not come back. You didn't have LeBron James on your team. You don't have LeBron James on your team, so it's a bit different. And you were injured. And in this game, it was a bunch of things I saw. The Cavs, they started off a little bit strong. You know, they started off with some momentum. But once the Pacers started to fight back and were like, yo, this isn't going to be some easy Game 5 win at home, it's like the Cavs just, like, crawled up and went in the corner and just gave up. The Cavs, one thing I haven't seen from a lot of Cleveland fans on this team is that this team is a soft team. That's what I've been seeing people say, that they're a soft team. They're not some so glorified team. You know what I'm saying? If they're not up, if they're not front running, then they're kind of prone to just letting things go. And based off of that game, I would have to agree. It was a lot of, even early in the series, I talked about how Cleveland was struggling with some of the physicality that Indiana was giving them. And not that Indiana's some overly physical team. It's just that it's the playoff, the intensity is higher. So, of course, physicality is going to increase. And the physicality that Indiana was putting on Cleveland, it was definitely starting to irritate Evan Mobley. Definitely got under Jared Allen's skin. Well, not under his skin, but definitely affected the way he played. They just looked very, like, timid out there. And throughout the course of this game, you know, the Pacers just kept on their foot on the gas. The Cavs kind of just went in the corner, crawled up, and okay, fine, y'all have it. And it's just kind of embarrassing. And it makes you think, like, what's next for Cleveland? I see some people already talking about trading Jared Allen, maybe shopping around Darius Garland. Some people suggesting that they might need another ring. I honestly don't know what it is. I mean, not that I don't know what it is. I might make something like an offseason kind of talking about the Cavs more in depth. But off the top of my head, the Cavs need a veteran or somebody who's going to come in and instill a certain type of mindset. Kenny Atkinson hasn't done that with his team. That's just not the type of guy he is. Donovan Mitchell, I think he has it, but I don't think he's the type of leader, and he has the type of leadership style that's going to be infectious enough to just spread around the rest of the team. They just need somebody else. And they might have to go out looking for, in the offseason. They might have to shop around for somebody else. But they just need somebody who's going to, promote, hey, listen, like, when we go into battle, we're going into the battle, we're going to be physical, we're going to be this, we're going to do that. That's the type of thing that they're just going to have to instill, because based off this game, like, this is horrible. You have a 64-win season. You don't even lose 20 games, and you lose in 5 games in the second round. Yeah, injuries and things like that did happen, but that's not why you guys lost tonight. Y'all had everybody. Of course, Darius Garland was injured. He clearly wasn't himself. But your guys like Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, Ty Jerome, Darius Garland, they just look rattled. You know, as soon as they seen some competition, they didn't want any parts of it. So yeah. So yeah, that's what happens with them. Cavaliers, yeah. Pacers, got to commend the Pacers for fighting back and just being who they are. Tyrese Halliburton, he gives you 31, 8, and 6, you know. He was great. He was great this game. As usual, it's Tyrese Halliburton. He usually is a very good performer. So Tyrese gives you a good game. Pascal, Andrew, everybody had a good game for Indiana. And it's just very commendable. This is your second conference final appearance, back-to-back years. You know, a lot of people are calling this team overrated, you know, not really believing in the type of team that the Pacers are. And they're proving everyone wrong. I mean, I didn't expect them to go this far, not because I didn't think they were good enough, but because I thought that they were just teams who were better than them. And clearly, I was wrong. And yeah, now they're in the conference finals, awaiting the New York Knicks or the Boston Celtics. Second game this night was the Nuggets versus the Thunder. Thunder ended up winning, and this is a game when I was watching it, I said, the Thunder have it figured out. It was one of those games like the ones before. Close game coming down. It was coming down to a close game as you get towards the fourth. And you're just like, okay, the Nuggets, it's a close game, you know, in the fourth quarter. Kind of the type of game that they're used to, that they will want. Especially against the OKC Thunder, who didn't want that. And the Thunder won. And one thing I saw down the stretch of the game was great execution that I did not expect to see from Thunder, because they just were not doing it in the past. I see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander coming down, and they might throw a set to him. He's penetrating the defense, and he's making the pass. He's not just sitting up here dribbling around, just lost in La La Land looking what's going on. He's making passes, making decisive decisions. I see this team executing on defense. Nikola Jokic is doing his thing, of course. And, of course, we're going to get to more of how bad the Nuggets played offensively. But the Thunder played really well, and it kind of showed you, like, hey, they might have figured it out. They were executing down the stretch, making the right passes, making the right plays. It didn't just look like just a bunch of isolation ball, just trying to see who was going to do what, who was just going to be able to do something. It looked more, it wasn't just chaos, you know what I'm saying? It looked organized. It looked like they knew what they were doing. They had a plan, and they executed very well. J-Dub gives you a big three down the stretch from the corner, you know, after he had been struggling all season, really all playoffs. And yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein, he just has some nice plays on offense, just being in the right place at the right time, sending that dunker spot, setting good screens, just doing a multitude of things to derail the Nuggets. As for the Nuggets in this game, Nikola Jokic played phenomenally. He played like Nikola Jokic. What you expect from Nikola Jokic, he had like 40, 15, and 5 assists. And the 5 assists is really telling, because you could tell the Thunder were like, hey, I mean, it wasn't even, the Thunder played good defense on Jokic. Jokic was literally just better than them. But the 5 assists is telling, not because the Thunder forced Nikola to be some kind of scorer like how the Timberwolves did with Luka earlier in the playoffs. The rest of his teammates just weren't making shots. Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook had played horrible. Christian Braun played horrible. Well, Jamal Murray didn't play horrible, but he you know, down the stretch he wasn't executing. Aaron Gordon, he has been great for them all season. I mean, all postseason, he couldn't make no shots. These guys could not make shots down the stretch, and that's a big reason why this game turned out the way it was. Michael Porter Jr. misses a key three on the right wing. Aaron Gordon misses a key three. I think he was trying to get like a 2-for-1, so he forces up a shot in the left corner, misses that one. After Jokic makes that crazy three from the top of the key, like, it was a lot of things for down the stretch. This is a game you're going to be in, but it was as simple as they just were making shots and they weren't able to execute. They weren't able to execute, OKC was, and if I were anybody else, I would have been pretty scared. Wednesday, don't really want to harp on Wednesday too much. The Celtics end up beating the Knicks, and the Knicks need to realize that this is the playoffs and this is the second round of the playoffs. And the team that you have to potentially face in the conference finals is already at home getting rest. You can't really play around with the Celtics. It's not really something that you want to do. You know, they don't have Jason Tatum, but Jason Tatum, although he was the best player on this team won the championship last year for a reason, and they were a number 2 seed for a reason. Because you have somebody like a Jaylen Brown, you have somebody like a Derek White, you have somebody like a Al Horford, you have all these different guys on this roster that, yeah, Jason Tatum goes down, but we can somewhat make up for that type of production that he gives us, you know? And the Knicks just have to come out with a better sense of urgency tonight when they play and not really try to, you know, focus on playing around with your food. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with your food. Go ahead, just eliminate them. You're full strength. You're going back to the Garden tonight. Just eliminate them. The Timberwolves beat the Warriors. Don't really want to harp too much on that. We knew the Timberwolves were going to win. Anthony Edwards, he played pretty well. Julius Randle, I mean, I think we really need to commend Julius Randle how well he has played. He scores 29 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Probably, you could argue, the best player in this game. Phenomenal. Great job, Julius Randle. The Timberwolves will now face the winner of the Denver Nuggets and OKC Thunder, and they also get to rest a bit more than these other teams. They get the benefit of Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert resting while they're watching the Nuggets and the Thunder sit up here and not kill themselves, but like just battle just to get to the Western Conference Finals. You get to rest up, you get to heal your body, and these teams are going to come in, whoever wins, they're going to come into this conference finals gassed, exhausted. And that's definitely more so a benefit to the Timberwolves. So the next game is, so yeah, that was Wednesday. Then you have last night. So last night, you have the Thunder versus the Nuggets. Whew. Okay. So you have the Thunder versus the Nuggets, and it was one of the things where you're just like, yo, the Nuggets are just one of those teams that are constantly finding a way to win. It seems like it doesn't matter like who, what the situation is, but this is just a team, especially with the new head coach, that is very experienced, obviously, that just keeps on finding ways to win. You give Julian Strawther, I call it like a joker in the deck, you know, just something you don't expect. You throw Julian Strawther out there, and he gives you 15 points in 20 spot minutes. That was very key for the Nuggets down the stretch, because I'm sure OKC wasn't expecting Julian Strawther to play in the game because Russell Westbrook didn't play that well. Peyton Watson came in, but we all know Peyton Watson is mainly a defensive threat, so he did what he did. But for to have Julian Strawther come in and give you 15 very key points, I mean, shoot, you take away those 15 points and they lose by 3 points. So for him to give him these type of minutes, definitely something I would look at in Game 7. But I think that was just very key. And I like seeing that from very other good chess move from the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic plays well. Christian Braun gives you 23 versus giving you 8 last game. Jamal Murray gives you 25. Michael Porter Jr. only gives you 10. He's still struggling a little bit. However, the fact that you had the other step up, you had the big contribution from Julian Strawther in a game where Nikola Jokic is still playing good, but he needs some help. And he finally gets that help from his other, teammates, and that's phenomenal. OKC, Shai Gilgeous gives you a good game. 32, 6, 3, that's all you can ask from Shai. But it's the same thing with the others, right? Lou Dort gives you 10. Hartenstein, I mean, he does the best he can, but Jalen Williams. J-Dub is playing phenomenally defensively, right? Plays phenomenally defensively. You're getting great games from Alex Caruso, Jason Wallace, Cason Wallace, and Jay Will off the bench. However, Jalen Williams, your all-star player, your some people say he's the second best player on your team, has been borderline unplayable offensively this series. I don't even know. He's been so bad. He's been missing dunks. There was one time where he got this big steal, driving, dunked, misses it. And the expectation's too high. He played the most minutes in this game, and the expectation's just too high. Now, he plays a lot of minutes because the defense has been well. He's been wearing Nikola Jokic out, Aaron Gordon. He's not somebody who these players are just able to abuse, but offensively, he's just been borderline unplayable. And going to Game 7, that has to change. Has to change, and he has to be better. And that's for tonight. The Knicks play the Celtics. I think the Knicks close out at Madison Square Garden, but they have to close out at Madison Square Garden. I feel like if you let it go to Game 7 and you're in Boston, not to say you lose, but stuff just gets real spooky for you at that point. But I think the Knicks take it in the series. There's no other game. And I think for Game 7 on Sunday at 3:30, I think the Thunder win. should stay in 14. I think the Thunder win. They're back at home. I think the Thunder have finally Dave. Now the Denver Nuggets might be the scariest team in the NBA to actually like play a Game 7 against. However, with that being said, I think OKC has figured it out. At least enough to get past this round and go to the next round versus Minnesota Timberwolves. The Denver Nuggets have played, I believe, the most Game 7s in this core that they have has played the most Game 7s in the NBA in the past like 3 years or so, or maybe since 2020. I don't know. That's a scary team to face, especially when you have the best player in the world on another team. However, you have potentially an MVP on the other team who is finally starting to put it together. I think OKC outside of J-Dub is actually learning how to execute down the stretch and perform in close games, something that they've had to learn this series versus Denver Nuggets. And I think, although we are in for a thriller, an all-time Class A game on Sunday, I think the Thunder end up winning and pull it out versus the Nuggets. But, of course, these are just my opinions. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments about these playoffs so far. The draft lottery. The draft is weird. The lottery's rigged. That's really it. And yeah, I'll give more when I do like a draft breakdown. But yeah, the lottery's rigged. That's it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like in the video. Comment if you disagree or agree with whatever I said. Just let me know what you're thinking down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, peace.